y'all, Jamie here from Country Diggers. Today's video is going to go into my new decanters. I'm going to tell you some history about them. Alright, I thought we'd start with this one. This is a late 1960s, early 1970s S. Spear bijou. And bijou means jewel. It's not a jewelry box, but they made some jewelry boxes. This is a whiskey decanter. It's a wooden castle liquor chest decanter and shot glass set. It has 2 decanters and 4 shot glasses made in Taiwan, Republic of China. Sadly, nobody has information on who made them, but they are for fans of Outlander, Game of Thrones, or a Renaissance party. It's retro cool, gothic, medieval rustic bar set. Alright, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is cool, y'all. It came with these kind of decanters. Ain't that cool? And I got 2 of them right there. And this is velvet. And it come with, let's see if I can get it. Little shot glasses. Okay. And some shot glasses on this side. It's very cool, I think. Alright. 4 shot glasses and 2 glass decanters. And 2 drawers, and it's got the chains on it, and also the crest, and 2 lion's heads at the drawers. And on the crest it says S. Spear bijou. Okay, so that one was a cool one. I love it. All right. This is another nice one. It is a 1971 Garnier liquor bottle, and it was made in Italy. And it was a distillery. Garnier was founded in the heart of the Normandy bocage in 1877. And has been handed down from father to son for 5 generations. They have been producing Calvados and Pommeau de Normandy in the purest craft tradition for 140 years. Their products are surprisingly fruity and incredibly authentic. And the bottle is too. The bottle is a nice looking bottle. But yeah. And I found out when I bought this one, I found out that it does have, there is a whole set of these card bottles. There's the Jack, which I have. There's the Ace, the Queen, the King, the Jack, the Ace, the King, the Queen, and the Joker. So that's pretty cool. All right. Now I think this one's very nice too. This is one of my favorites too. This is the Greybeard Heather Dew blended Scotch whiskey. It's from Mitchell Brothers Ltd, Glasgow, Scotland. And you can see it has the federal law forbids sale or use of this bottle. Okay, and it's made in Scotland. The bottle was made in Scotland too. All right. And the history on it is this one right here. The federal law forbids sale or use of this bottle was put on bottles from the years 1935 to 1964. And some went into the 70s too. But this bottle is from 1935 to 1942. The Greybeard Heather Dew blended Scotch whiskey Mitchell Brothers Ltd, Glasgow, Scotland. Heather Dew whiskey was bottled in ceramic jugs by Apostle Pottery in the mid-30s. Okay, it's got the Apostle Pottery mark right there. You can barely, I don't know if you can see it or not, I could barely see it with a magnifying glass on there, but it's right in there, the Apostle Pottery mark. And let's see, in the mid-30s, bottled in ceramic jugs by Apostle Pottery in the mid-30s. It is unclear when Mitchell Brothers began, though an 1885 trademark for its Heather Dew Scotch whiskey suggests the company dates from the end of the 19th century. Doubtless it suffered along with the rest of the industry from the hangover that followed the late Victorian whiskey boom. In 1913, the firm was acquired by the Distilleries Finance Corporation of Ireland, which owned 8 of the country's leading distillers and some of the top blenders in Dublin and Belfast. After the First World War, the company was taken over by DCL, yet Mitchell Brothers remained an entity as the license of the Northport Distillery in Brechin until it closed for good in 1983. Ceramic jugs of Heather Dew, the Greybeard, continued to be produced until the mid-1930s. That's why I think this one is from like 1935 to 1942. And perhaps even up until 1942, when their manufacturer, Apostle Pottery, was dissolved. By 1997, the trademark for Heather Dew was allowed to elapse. In 1908, Heather Dew began to be sold in the United States. The Heather Dew brand is a collectible old blend. Sorry. Let's see, where was I? Is a collectible old blend, especially if it's in the Greybeard ceramic jug. Heather, for those who want to know what heather is a low spreading bush, usually with small pink, purple, or white flowers, that grows wild, especially on hills. It is naturalized in North America from Newfoundland west to Michigan and south through Nova Scotia and the New England states. To the mountains of West Virginia, it is widespread throughout Europe. So that's what heather is, but this is moonshine, okay? Heather Dew. And that's a neat looking bottle. All right, right here I have the whole King Arthur series right here of McCormick's collectible decanters, okay? These are probably from 1970s, is what I'd say. But what I could get was McCormick Distilling Company is a distillery and alcoholic beverage importing company in Weston, Missouri. Established by Ben Holliday in 1856, the distillery has been registered in the National Register of Historic Places and is the oldest distillery west of the Mississippi River. That is still operating in its original location. The area for the distillery was chosen for the natural limestone springs that ran underground. After establishing the Holiday Distillery in 1856, Benjamin J. Holiday went on to great fame and fortune as the Stagecoach King, running the stagecoach lines from Missouri to the West Coast that later became the Wells Fargo Express, and ultimately acquiring the Pony Express as well. He was a serial interpreter who owned saloons, hotels, and silver mines, and by 1864, he was the largest individual employer in the United States. In 1860, Holiday turned the distillery over to his brother, Major David Holiday, who then ran the distillery until his death in 1894. His son-in-law, Thomas Barton, operated the distillery until it was sold to George Shahan and became the Shahan Distillery in 1900. During the period of Prohibition in the United States, the company remained open by bottling its previously distilled whiskey for medicinal purposes. The distillery was sold to Isidore Singer in 1936 and was renamed as the Old Weston Distillery. Singer then purchased the McCormick brand name from a neighboring plant at Waldron, Missouri, and renamed the distillery McCormick Distilling Company in 1942. In 1950, the company was purchased by Cloud Cray of Midwest Grain Products. Business partners Ed Peacher and Mike Grisser purchased the company in 1992 under Peacher and Grisser's ownership and management. McCormick Distilling expanded from 35 employees in 1992 to 186 employees in 2006. Grisser died in November 2004. As of 2020, McCormick Distilling remains a privately held corporation owned by company chairman Ed Peacher, the estate of Mike Grisser, and a small group of employee partners who comprise the board of directors. McCormick Distilling has produced a series of decanters which are sought after by collectors. Produced between 1968 and 1987. At least 175 decanters featuring Elvis Presley at every phase in his career. The decanter series are Automotive and Transportation, Bicentennial Series, Birds Series, Bulls Series, Confederate Series, the Elvis Series, Entertainer Series, Frontiersman Series, Great American Series, Gunfighter Series, Jugs, Lamps, Pirate, Shrine, Sports and Sports Mascots, Warrior, and the King Arthur Series, and other miscellaneous decanters. I got all of the King Arthur series. Okay, hope y'all enjoyed that King Arthur. Let's give a hand for King Arthur right here. All right, but I got more to come. All right, now we got Ezra Brooks. This one right here I saw, and I got it for my pastor and his wife because they are long-haul truckers, okay? They drive a big truck, and I got that one for them. But I opened it to see if it was broke or anything. I had to glue the top on. But it's a nice one, Ezra Brooks. It's CB Times. And you can see all that on there. And it's got the CB10 code and the trucker terms and all that. right there. I thought that was a nice one. I really like that one. And it's a 1975. Heritage China, 1976. Ezra Brooks liquor bottle decanter, right there. And this one right here is the Over and Under Flint 1815. Now you can see the label on this is not very good. I mean, it's not very sturdy, but I liked it. And this is velvet right here, this part. And there's the flintlock. And it says on this one, now there's 4 of these in a series. The Derringer 1865 right there. The Pepper Box 1859 right there. The Colt Peacemaker 1873. And the Over and Under Flintlock 1815, which is this one. And I think that is nice. That's a nice one. I like it. And this one came today. It's Ezra Brooks decanter too. And the cork is down in there somewhere. Okay. But yeah, this one's nice too. Very nice. And it is Ezra Brooks 1969. This is a 1969 one. And I like it. I like that. That is so nice. Okay, I'll read you a little bit about Ezra Brooks. Okay. The Ezra Brooks brand was created by 21 Brands Inc. This company was founded in 1933 in New York as a distribution company. In 1959, 21 Brands Inc. decided to take advantage of the shortage of Jack Daniels, Old No. 7, which was growing in popularity due to several factors that included being enjoyed by the members of the Rat Pack, in Hollywood. There was never an Ezra Brooks as a person. The name was created by the marketing department. The packaging was designed with a square bottle, just like Old No. 7, with a black and white label similar to Old No. 7. Like Old No. 7, the brand was bottled at 90 proof and labeled Sour Mash. Of course, they were promptly sued by Brown and Foreman, who owned Jack Daniels, for trademark infringement. However, 21 Brands Inc. won the case in 1961, and it opened the door for many other Old No. 7 copycat brands to enter the market. By 1966, the brand was being made at the Hoffman Distillery Company, which was owned by Ben, William, and Robert Rippey. The bottle proudly had a depiction of the distillery on the label and claimed they were made by Kentucky's finest little distillery. In the 1970s and 80s, the brand released many ceramic figural decanters to boost sales. In 1979, the Medley Distilling Company acquired 21 Brands Inc. and the Ezra Brooks brand. Production shifted to Owensboro, Kentucky at the Medley Distillery. In 1988, Glenmore Distilleries acquired Medley Distillery and their brands. In 1989, Ezra Brooks won a gold medal at the International Spirits Competition in London, England. In 1991, United Distilleries acquired Glenmore Distilleries, and the brand became just another bourbon in their huge portfolio of bourbons at the time. In 1992, United Distilleries sold many of their brands to Heaven Hill, including Ezra Brooks. Heaven Hill, in turn, sold the brand to David Sherman Corporation in St. Louis, Missouri. In 2006, that company became Luxco. In 2016, Luxco built a distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky that will make bourbon of all their brands, including Ezra Brooks. Okay, nice decanters right there. I think so. All right, next up we have a 1976 limited American Revolution bicentennial edition from the Early Times Distillery Company in Louisville, Kentucky, established in 1860. Okay, that one's a neato too. I like it. Okay, and there's the info on the bottom, and I'll tell you a little bit about this one. Okay, the Early Times brand was created in 1863 by Jack Beam, Jim Beam's uncle, and A.G. Knoll. They built a distillery in Nelson County, Kentucky, and wanted to make old-fashioned sour mash copper distilled whiskey like they made in the early times of Kentucky. Their three brands were Early Times, Jack Beam, and A.G. Knoll. The brand was popular and the distillery grew when they built a new distillery at what became known as Early Times Station, on the L&N Railroad spur, Railroad spur, not far from their original distillery in Nelson County. Jack died in 1915, and the distillery was closed at the onset of Prohibition. Brown and Foreman bought the warehoused whiskey held by Early Times to be used for medicinal purposes during Prohibition. Following Prohibition, Brown and Foreman relaunched the brand, and by the 1950s, Early Time was the top-selling bourbon in America. In 1955, Brown and Foreman acquired the Jack Daniel's distillery, and slowly the focus moved away from Early Times and towards Jack Daniel's. By the 1980s, Early Times had become a low priority in the portfolio of Brown and Foreman. In 2020, Brown and Foreman sold to Sazerac, Sazerac. Okay, but it's a nice big decanter right here. Limited edition, 1976. Pretty cool. All right. Next up, we have these two vintage Mountain Dew jugs, and this one I think was probably bought at a souvenir shop, probably because it says Davy Crockett's birthplace, Limestone, Tennessee on the back, and I'm assuming it was bought at a souvenir shop. It says the birthplace of Mountain Dew on the front. And look at that illustrations on the label of that. That is so cool. But I don't know how old this one is, so I'm calling it vintage. And I don't know how old this one is either. It just says Mountain Dew on it. And it was made in Japan. Japan. So I really don't know how old these are. I would say probably they could be 1940s to 60s. I'm not sure. But they're neat. They are neat. And I'll tell you a little bit about Mountain Dew history. All right, vintage. These are vintage Mountain Dews, like I said, jugs. Tennessee bottlers Barney and Allie Hartman developed Mountain Dew as a mixer in the 1940s. Soft drinks were sold regionally in the 1930s, and the Hartmans had difficulty in Knoxville obtaining their preferred soda to mix with liquor, preferably whiskey. So the two developed their own. Originally a 19th century slang term for whiskey, especially Highland Scotch whiskey. The Mountain Dew name was trademarked for the soft drink in 1948. Mountain Dew was originally Southern and Scotch-Irish, originally Southern and Scotch-Irish slang for moonshine / homemade whiskey, as referred in the Irish folk song, The Rare Old Mountain Dew. Now, I don't know if y'all did when y'all was kids, but in like the 3rd grade, we started singing these old songs. And we had sang That Good Old Mountain Dew, and all on top of Old Smoky and all that kind of stuff. But I learned about Mountain Dew from that song. And then later I learned my grandpa was a moonshiner, and he had a still down on our bluff, under our bluff, he had a still. And you can still see the remnants of that still. But anyway, the Irish folk song, The Rare Old Mountain Dew, dating from 1882. And the song goes like this. I'm not going to sing it, I'm just going to read it. Let grasses grow and water flow in a free and easy way. Prime old stuff that's made in Granuda. Ye geysers, okay, some of this I couldn't see good, but all from Donegal, Galway, and Wexford too. When home you roll, come take a bowl of the rare old Mountain Dew. On every hill there's a little still where the smoke curls up to the sky. You could tell by a whiff of the smell there's whiskey, boys, close by. It fills the air with the perfume rare, and twixt both me and you. When home you roll, come take a bowl of the rare old Mountain Dew. All learned men who use the pen, they have wrote your praises high. My sweet poteen from old Erin Green, distilled from wheat and rye. Away with pills, 'twill cure the ills of pagan, Christian, or Jew. Then off with the coat and wet your throat with the rare old Mountain Dew. Using it as the name for the soda was originally suggested by Carl E. Retzik at an Owens, Illinois, Inc. meeting in Toledo, Ohio. and was first trademarked by Allie and Barney Hartman in the 1940s. Early bottles and signage carried the reference forward by showing a cartoon-styled hillbilly. The first sketches of the original Mountain Dew bottle labels were devised in 1948 by John Burchido, and the representation on product packaging has changed at multiple points in the history of the beverage. Okay. All right, this is the last one, and this is a little different than the others. This is a copyright 1946 Blue Ridge Mountain Boys ceramic planter aftershave hillbilly jug. Okay, there's the hillbilly sitting at the trunk of the tree and his moonshine, and there's the snake. And he don't want that snake getting his moonshine. But, yeah, this was probably an aftershave or something. It said planter aftershave. So, and on the back it says the copyrighted 1946 Blue Ridge Boys, Zanesville, Ohio, Imperial Porcelain Company, Zanesville, Ohio, handcrafted, USA, okay? And I'll read you a little bit about that, all right? All right, this is copyrighted 1946, Blue Ridge Mountain Boys, ceramic planter aftershave. Hillbilly Jug by Paul Webb, Imperial Porcelain Corporation, Zanesville, Ohio. Handcrafted number 101, USA. From Carlton and Lehenner's, Paul Genter worked with Paul Webb at Imperial Porcelain Company to create figures based on Webb's Mountain Boys cartoon series. In 1946, Genter became chief designer at the company in Zanesville. He had left Broadmoor, Denver, by 1940 and was probably in Ohio during the war years. These delightful hand-painted planters were produced in high volumes and are very affordable today. But partly because royalties were paid to Webb, they were expensive to manufacture at the time. This led to financial disaster for the firm. From Carlton's, Paul Genter was replaced by Denzel Harding as plant manager in 1948 and died suddenly the following year. However, from Social Security records, we believe he actually died in Kansas in November of 1965. There is a mystery there, okay. But I thought that was neat too. It's just something different, you know. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed. See you back soon. Bye.